It's early. It's early. What is it? Somewhere past 7. Somewhere past 7. I don't know. Is it 8 yet? It could be 8. It could be 8. You never know. I could have gotten that wrong. You never know. But the first 20 seconds of this video are gone. They will never be seen again, and that's a good thing. Because the first 10 seconds, maybe even 15 seconds of every video live stream are deadly. I know. I should know, right? I should know because I am that pesky, conniving son of a gun, which is now so famous in the Figment world. I'm so famous now in the Figment world. What's going on, guys? Are you guys having a good, fantastic day back to school or work? If you guys were on a long 3-day weekend, I don't know. Hopefully. Anyway, so I have my usual fun books, this one and the technology book. So we're gonna dive into that stuff really quick. But trigger alert. I have a poster today with me. Sadly, it is not in color. It is in black and white because I don't have any more. I ran out of the colored ink, and it's hard to find. Used to be able to get it from Costco. I'm not sure what's going on. But we're out of that. And we have this really cool thing here. The Sawscast. We've got some amazing things, and I think we will talk about this a little bit more also later. But I wanted to talk about one thing, which is kind of fun. Because in society, we have this ideal. We have this ideal that a scrub, the definition of a scrub is a certain thing. But I am here today to tell you that the definition of a scrub, it can be broadened. It can be broadened to more than just your typical guy. So you remember that song, right? I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can never get love from me, or something along the lines of that. Anyway, I'm not very good with that kind of song. I gotta remember the lyrics. I don't have any music. I got no beats. But do you have the time to listen to me whine? Anyway, that was me singing in the back of the other song. I think one of my videos that I recently released got, I can't remember which platform. One of the platforms seems to have demonetized that video. I think they thought that the voice was too close to the original, and so they thought I just stole the clip and just put it into the video. I don't know, algorithms. What are you gonna do? So anyway, the definition of a scrub, right? The definition of a scrub is usually the guy who shows up in someone else's car. He's usually driving, he's not driving, he's in the back of the vehicle of some rich man's car. Is usually mooching off or leeching off of, other people's stuff to try to get the girl. Shows up at the fancy club. He got invited to the VIP club and stuff because he's connected, right? But he makes no money. He's leech. He's lazy. He's got no skills, and he's trying to get the girls, and the girls can see right through that, and so they don't want to give him love because why would you, right? Especially if they're that kind of guy that's not willing to put in the work and the hours to try to get better and become a valuable part of society, right? But then you can still be super rich, like this guy here. If you watch the Sawscast, I won't say his name. This guy here. He goes on the Sawscast. He's yeah, I'm alpha. And again, I have nothing against alpha males. I've got a lot of friends that are alpha males. They look great and stuff. And you're not supposed to say, oh, they have good looking bodies, because then everybody's like, oh, you must be that thing. You can't. It's just modern society is strange. Even back in the days, you couldn't as a man make a compliment to another man and say, oh, good job, bro, for working out. Because they always think you might be something else. There's this thing. Anyway. So anyway, this guy comes on the Sozcast. He's all alpha. Ooh, yeah. Ugh. 'Cause I'm, I'm a high value man, and I do this and I do that, and I make lots of money, and I've got money in the bank, and I treat my woman like dirt. That, in my opinion, is also can be categorized as a scrub, because I mean, you've got all this wealth and this power and this and that and the other, and yes, you are giving your spouse or your girlfriend or whatever it is a very fancy version of universal basic income is what you're doing. Yes, she has all the stuff that she needs to, survive, to live, and all that stuff. Plus, she can look beautiful and stuff. But all that money is all about you, and this is what it's like. I'm not triggered by this, but I want to put this out. You can still be a rich man. You can still be a high-end man, a high-value man, and still be a total cheapskate. Because yes, you are giving your woman or your spouse or whatever, your partner, all of this money, but all of this money is all about you. And if your partner wants to take some of that money and say, put it aside for something that she or he loves for themselves, you're not letting them do that. You're just giving them whatever, the spa trainer, the treatment, the personal trainer, whatever, to keep your woman or your man or your whatever, your high value person that you have conquered or whatever, and now is under the contract of marriage. You're giving her all these things, but it's really all about you, because you want them to be, you want her to have that thin waist, and you want her to have a large upper body and large lower body and whatever, all that stuff, to keep her being the high value woman that you want. But what if she wants something other than that, and what if she wants a little bit for herself, because people are yes, they might be about like the ephemeral or the frivolous things, and are like, I want this and that, and it's all about the exterior, but then there are some things about the soul that need to be nourished, right? And he was talking about how his girl is fantastic. She looks pretty. She's all this. She's all that, and she's also really brainy, right? So she works with her head. She does. She manages the website. She does a bunch of things for him as well. And a very good point that was made by this man over here, Adam. And I like his hosting. He did a pretty good job hosting the show. Only gripe I had was he should have given the ladies a little bit more time on the show to say their piece. But I'm sure that's going to change going forward. He's a good dude. Anyway, so then this guy goes, so his comment was, well, your woman is so fantastic and this and that and the other. You can afford to give her an even better life. Why don't you do that and not have her like scrub all the toilets and clean things, get somebody else to do that. Or, one thing that is very important if you turn out to be like a high value man and you've got all this money is try to find a way to stay humble a little bit, right? Especially because a lot of these high value men, like, they like to say, well, yeah, I'm a high value man and I'm also conservative in a certain way. Well, being conservative also means to be able to keep in touch with your humble side. And your humble side is, okay, well, I'm rich today, everything's going well, but we could also fall on hard times. So I'm gonna keep myself humble. I'm gonna know that I can clean the toilet myself too, and stuff like that. Like, don't be so arrogant that you're above cleaning toilets and stuff, because someday you might not be high value anymore. We can all fall from grace, and you might have to clean that toilet yourself. And the other thing that was quite annoying was that he said, well, with all things equal, so long as I have the upper hand, it's the woman's job to do the cleaning. Oh man, come on, do you still live in the Middle Ages? Please. Anyway, enough about this guy. Enough about this guy. And don't get triggered. Don't get triggered by this guy. Don't get triggered by this guy, because a lot of these people here, they go on the YouTube. They go on the YouTube or on TV, and they're all alpha. But let's face it, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I bet you he had a little agreement with his girlfriend before going on the show, because if even the most alpha guy, if he really is in a relationship and he's not as bad as he makes himself look on TV, he probably had an agreement with her, because otherwise he's gonna be in the doghouse. He's gonna be in the doghouse for many, many months to come for the things he said on Valuetainment. Anyway, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, guys. I bet he went to his lovely lady at home and he said, listen, honey, we're gonna make a killing here with clicks, views, and likes on our channel, but also on Valuetainment. We're gonna make us in Valuetainment a lot of money. So honey, don't watch the show. Don't watch the show. Close your ears. It's not true. It's not true. You don't gotta do nothing. We're just doing this. We're gonna say a bunch of ridiculous stuff on the show just to get clicks and views. So yeah, honey. Just keep a close eye. You close your eyes. Don't watch it. Don't hear. Don't listen to this stuff. I love you. And then he goes on the show and says, awful man, Neanderthal. Anyway. Anyway, guys, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Just like when this other guy over here goes, well, women after 30s, not 30s, well, women after they hit 40, well, yeah, they're done. Yeah. Because, I don't want to have retarded children or something like that. I think that's what he said. That's also a myth. There's plenty of women. There's plenty of science saying that you can still have a child after you're 40 and be perfectly fine. So this guy is going after women, going like, well, yeah, of course. A woman after they're 40 years old, well, yeah, they're done. Their value is done. Anyway, so part of the reason why I made this poster here, guys, that was a bit of a laugh there. Early morning laugh. You see what it says here? This is training. This is from the poster training day. Training and the Terminator. Training the Terminator. So this is what most people are going to do now when they watch something like this. Okay, I'm not triggered. I do these videos for the fun of it, so you guys can try to get out of your situation, because a lot of people get so triggered by these things. Don't get triggered. Because when you get triggered, you're helping the algorithm. You're training the Terminator to give people like this guy a lot of money, a lot of credibility and stuff. If you don't like these two people, what you want to avoid is you watch the show, you Google them immediately, because this is what the purpose of these shows is, as well, is to help these guys earn even more money. I mean, they're making plenty of money already. You don't want to give these guys any more money. So what you're going to do is, this is the typical response from a human being. And you have to train yourself to not do this, because when you do that, then the algorithm is being trained to love these people, right? So you go on the Saucecast. You say you just watched the Saucecast, and you watch this, and you thought, oh, that was entertaining, but these two people over here triggered the ever-loving poop out of me. So what you don't do is, you don't go to their channels now and start pressing dislike, or making a bunch of comments, whatever, and Googling these people, because that is what's going to make these guys right here more and more money, especially if they trigger the ever-loving poop out of you. That's what the algorithm is able to do, is because you Googled these guys now, they get more credibility. Because you went to their YouTube channel or their social media and you started writing a bunch of comments on their thing, they're making more money now. Don't do that, guys. So the best option for you guys is, if you are triggered by these guys, is just ignore them. Don't go home and talk about these guys to your spouse and have them, because this is how it works, right? Word of mouth, and it becomes a global triggering system. And then the algorithm keep saying, okay, well, these guys kept having views and likes and subscribes or whatever, or at least endless comments and traffic on their channels, so their content must be good. And that is how you train the algorithm. That's how you train the Terminator, not to make these guys more money if they triggered you. I mean, if you love the stuff that they said, then go ahead, because you're making these guys a whole lot of money. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing that you're doing. And they almost got away with it if it hadn't been for that pesky market reviews. Anyway, that's how I got my street. That's how I get my street cred. My street cred. Anyway, guys, how much money did I make for teaching people how to train the Terminator not to be a nasty, conniving son of a gun? I get nothing. In fact, the algorithm keeps removing subscribers from the channel, which is it's fantastic, guys. It's fantastic. All right, so I'm about as loved as Andrew Tate right now. And there's reasons why not to love him, right? There's reasons why not to love him. There's good reasons why you shouldn't love Andrew Tate, but I don't know. Me, I'm just super pesky and conniving, right? All right. Let's get into it, guys. Really cool stuff. Now that we've wasted a few minutes teaching you guys how to get that Terminator to do the right thing, we're going to get right on by here. All right, so remote-controlled snake. And who doesn't want a cool remote-controlled snake? Of course, I do. I think I'm overdressed for the occasion because I thought that today was going to be quite cold in the morning, and I was wrong. In fact, thanks to the power of the sun, which is a beautiful thing, the power of the sun, I probably can take this jacket off right now. I'm not one for sweating, but the other day I made a video where I was joking. You guys know I'm joking, right? I was promoting jokingly the Lululemon guys, and you get comments. You said something about the Lululemon ambassadors. No, I didn't. I was just making a ridiculous video like I always do. I was born to make ridiculous videos. Anyway, so remote-controlled snake. So remote controls allow you to make things happen at a distance, like changing the channel on a TV or steering a drone. Steer that drone. Recently I discovered something really cool, and I didn't know about this, and there's a really cool YouTuber that talks about pipes and stuff. No, it's not pipes. She's not in the plumbing business. Although today I got to do some plumbing myself. That's a good segue. I got to go do some plumbing. I see this is a handle. This is a toilet handle. This is a toilet handle because I scrub toilets and I repair toilets. Imagine that, a modern alpha doing humble things. Oh gosh, oh golly. Anyway, so I was talking about pipes, the musical pipes, the amazing musical pipes. But anyway, I didn't know. There's drones in pipes. Go check out her channel and find out what's that about, what all that is about. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna steal her amazing thunder. Go find out that there are drones. There's drones in the musical pipes that you can play. That's a good one for the training the algorithm. Remember, go train that Terminator to do something useful, and ask it valuable questions. Is it what about pipes in musical? What about pipes? What about drones in musical instruments? Anyway, so steering a drone. So in this project, you'll operate a snake that slithers across the floor by remote control. It'll take a bit of practice, but soon You will be making your snake twist and turn as it whizzes along the floor. Sounds fun. Sounds fun. You can use cable ties or tape to bundle the control wires together. And if you're super fancy, you could attach a Raspberry Pi Pico to this project later on if you get super intelligent. You could do some coding like Eli the computer guy. Eli the computer guy recently has a new awesome YouTube channel. If you guys, this is another way to put in a plug for something cool that's happening. He's talking about education, awesome technology education. And the easiest way for dyslexic people like me to remember his channel is to go E.T., like the galactic, you guys know E.T., phone home, right? E.T. So it's E.T. and CG like computer graphics. Everybody knows computer graphics, right? So E.T. like E.T., right? And CG like computer graphics, and then space experiments. And you can go find his cool things. Right now, he is doing some cool things with DJ Ango. DJ Ango. That's an inside joke. Anyway, it's really cool stuff, and he's getting drilled by the modern technologists of the world. Anyway, go check out his video. I don't want to steal his thunder, and find out what DJ Angle is all about in his cool mixing. Go check that out. The technology world has just gotten more fun. You can use cable ties or tape to bundle the control wires together. It's important to keep our wires from getting tangled, and so keep your wires organized so that they don't ruin your experiments that you're working on. The control wires send instructions from the switches on the remote control to the motors at the snake head. Under each of the snake body segments are two beads that act as wheels, and then there are two DC motors in the snake's head convert. Sorry, yeah, no, that's right. Head convert that convert the flow of current from switches into movement. Then we've got pushing the switches forward and backward changes the flow of current to the motors, which changes their spin and directions in which the snake moves. The remote control houses a switch for each motor and the battery pack which powers them. All right, I'm going to show you what this is all about here. It's a very cool snake that you can build. There you go. These are the two motors. You can find these in the Mini 4WD. They're not remote control cars, these, but they run on a track. The same kind of motors that run those cars are being used here. And then you have a very simplistic remote control. Where is the remote control? Oh, on the side. Very simplistic remote control there that changed the direction of the snake. And it'll go, I guess, left or right, depending on switches. Excuse me, I made a similar project a while ago. That's on this channel, where we had one of those little things, and we had a solar-powered car. I'm sure the video got millions of views, just like that other video where the guy buys or borrows a Bugatti Veyron, right? And then throws eggs at it and gets millions of views. Then that video, I'm pretty sure, also made millions of views when I built that cool solar-powered car. All right, so this is the beginning. And so it begins, right? It tells you that this project is probably going to take about an hour. It is on the harder spectrum of difficulty here for this project. It says, beware, requires utility knife, hot glue gun, soldering iron, and drill use. So beware of all that stuff. Make sure you have that in your toolbox if you want to do this project. And be careful and beware of doing it yourself if you're not competent. And especially if you're younger, if you don't have an adult to supervise, such as an instructor, is probably better, just in case your parents don't know how to do this stuff. Because you could have adult supervision and things could still go wrong if your parents are not into this kind of thing and they're just trying to help you out, and the house could still be at risk. Anyway, the key to this project are DPDT, switches. No idea what that stands for, but DPDT, just in case you wanted to Google that and train the YouTube algorithm and all the other algorithms to do something useful, which allow currents to flow in either direction or turn it off completely. When you join the snake's body segments, make sure they can swivel. Otherwise, the snake will not slither. You can stick decorative paper onto one side of foam board to give your snake some color. Sounds pretty fun. What you need from the toolbox: you're going to need a utility knife, a cutting mat, a bradal, and we love our bradals these days, a ruler like Crazy Russian Dad. If you guys haven't seen that channel, go check it out. Crazy Russian Dad is all about the rulers. Wire cutters, pliers, hot glue gun, wire strippers, soldering iron, and solder. Scrap wood and clamps, drill, 1/4 inches, 6mm drill bits, a double-sided foam tape, and that'll be all for that. You do need you need two actually of these motors. It says 3 12-volt motors. I'm not exactly, or 3-12-volt motors. Basically, it's one of those, if you've ever owned one of those Dacia vehicles, those little build-it-yourself kits from Tamiya that don't have a remote control. You just put it together and then you put two batteries. Usually it's 2 AA batteries. Flip a switch and they will go really fast, so it's better to have them on a track. If you have one of those things, you know what kind of motors these are, and then I'll show you a picture in a minute. They want you to use a 9-volt battery pack and a 9-volt battery to go with that. You are going to need 2 DPDT switches, which can often be found in Arduino and Raspberry Pi kits, but mostly Arduino kits that I've seen. Anyway, jewelry wire, 20 inches, which is equal to 50 centimeters. You will need 7 paper fasteners, 9/16 of an inch, which is similar to 15 millimeters. You're going to need black stranded wire, 3 inches, which is 8 centimeters. Red stranded wire, for some reason you needed a little bit more of this one. It says 20 feet, which is 16 meters and 16 centimeters. You will need 1 roll of wrapping paper, and they've got this wrapping paper that looks really cool and metallic and futuristic, but you can use any other roll of paper if you want. You could have unicorns on it for whatever they care anyway. Whatever you want, you could put on there. What about the Powerpuff Girls? That'd be cool. Anyway, strip board. You need 1 strip board, 4 inches. 4 inches times 2 inches, which is 10 centimeters times 5 centimeters. You will need a spacer bead of 1/5 inches, which is 5 millimeters. And you will need 1 8 times 11 inches foam board. They don't give you what that is in centimeters. For some reason, they skipped that. Anyway, it looks like it is too early to have people watching the show, except if you're on the other platforms, in which case you would have plenty of people coming to see the show. But this is YouTube. Nobody watches this stuff. It's technology. Hey, I should be misogynistic and sexist and racist, and then I'd get lots of views. But I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. Anyway. Templates. Trace the 3 shapes here and use that as a template to cut out the shapes below. So it's going to talk about a body piece, a head piece, and a tail piece. Oh, excuse me. This content is so boring that I'm yawning. When you get to steps 4 and 6, refer to the shape below to bend your jewelry wire accurately to make the axes or axles for the snake's wheels. So I'm going to show you this picture real quick so you guys have some idea what I'm talking about here. So there's going to be a head piece, a body piece, and a tail piece like that. And this is the squiggle that you're going to have to follow instructions to make those changes and modify stuff. And it's going to be amazing. Trust me on that. All right, so you will need 6 body pieces, 1 head, and 1 tail. So one good way of doing this, guys, just in case you struggle to just make these things. I mean, you should be able to, if you are an artist, you probably don't need a ruler. You probably don't even need to measure this stuff out or even use that as a template. If you're an artist, you could just eyeball this stuff, and then on a piece of paper, you could do it. But if you're not an artist, you could get yourself some tracing paper. Some tracing paper is really good. And tracing paper will allow you to trace over these bits that I just showed you, and then use that as your actual template to then go on top of cardboard or whatever you want to use as, I think they said cardboard, but I can't remember. We will read it in the steps here. Some people prefer foam-ish material. Some people prefer other things, cardboard, whatever, to do this kind of thing. But anyway, if you start off with a nice piece of tracing paper, you know that you've got it nailed down to the letter, and it's going to be good. So anyway, I got distracted by the squirrels and the lovely people that walk around here. They said, don't always say ladies. It could be men. Okay. I get in trouble with everyone. I'm like living in the doghouse all year round with the comments. So anyway, stick your wrapping paper. You can never get it right. There's always going to be a critic somewhere out there. Anyway, stick your wrapping paper onto the foam board. Okay, they want you to use a foam board. Flip it over and use the tracing paper to transfer the shapes above onto the foam board. Then use the utility knife to cut out the pieces. Sounds like fun. So again, guys, please be careful with utility knives. I've seen people do this all the time. They make that utility knife front bit go too long. They apply too much pressure, and one of those bits will snap off. And if you're not wearing goggles, protective goggles, and you do the wrong thing, that could be a shard that ends up in your eye. Don't do that to yourself. Using the utility knife, carefully cut out the squares in the body segments and the 2 circles in the headpiece. Sounds like fun too. And then use the bradal, our most loved new tool, the bradal, to poke holes through all the remaining markings on the 6 body segments and the head and tail. If you don't want to use a bradal, you can use a little drill. A little drill is also cool. Like Dremels are great for this kind of thing. And also, it's a lot faster to use one of those little drills to make precise holes where you want them to be. You often will use adhesive putty underneath the bradal and the foam board, with results in a cleaner hole and will protect the surface. So if you don't want to get all those little holes in your wooden tables at school, especially, that looks bad. And then it causes the school's already underfunded. You don't need them to be changing out tables all the time. Oh, the crisis. The teacher crisis is pretty bad. What is going to happen when all of the decent teachers that are currently in the system retire or just give up because they're like, yes, I'm going to do something else that pays more. And then no new youngins want to be teachers because they realize that they can easily just make more money from home using eBay. Oh, it's going to be a world without education. It is. Eventually, it is. Anyway, so the section in the middle should be about 3/8 inches, 1 centimeter long. Next, you will make the wheel axles for the snake, cut in 3 1/8 inches, which is 8 centimeters, piece of jewelry wire. Following the template above, use pliers to make 2 right angle bends so that the piece has a U shape. 5, make 2 more right-angled bends in the wire, each about 3/8 inches, 1 centimeters away from either side of the existing bends. Now thread a bead onto the wire. This looks pretty fun. Make sure the jewelry wire on each side of the U bend is level with the other. I will. And that is where that squiggle that you saw earlier comes in, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. It says put 2 more right angles bends in the end of the wire so the bead cannot slip off. Repeat on the other side, then repeat steps 4 to 6, 5 more times, so you end up with 6 pieces of bent jewelry wire. I'm going to show you this real quick because it's always better to see the picture. So I think it starts here, 4, and then this one and that one. Did I read it all? I think that's all. But what's important is to remember this squiggle here up there is what you want to do with the beads down here when you bend that wire. See, the squiggles appear here and here, and that is what that is all about there. It just shows you the shape. So the bead is locked into place and cannot get out of that spot where it's been placed carefully and beautifully. And make sure you make some right angles that work. Anyway, so that was horrible. I'm not sure what accent that was. So push the axle through the 2 square holes in each body segment so that so that the wheels end up underneath the segment. Use hot glue to secure the ends of the wire to the body segments. The middle part of the axle should stand above the top of the foam board. And I really like the wrapping paper that they use because it makes it look very cool, shiny and technology-ish thing. Sparkles. We love our sparkles on the show. It says, trim the ends of the jewelry wires so they are flush with the sides of the body pieces. Use paper fasteners to connect the segments together through the holes at the end of each segment. Push the fasteners through from the top and bend the legs out to secure them. Cool. Put fasteners on a little loose to allow the segment to move. Yeah, don't over tighten things when you're building these projects, because then if the motor requires you to bend a piece, it won't be able to, and it will struggle. And you know how you don't want the motors to struggle, because if they struggle, they burn out. Don't cut all the way through the foam board, it says, for this next bit. And this is a little bit when you create a hinge for one of your RC projects. This is transferable skills from this project to, let's say you buy yourself one of those fun do-it-yourself DIY kits with drones and planes and stuff. If you're gonna make some cool ailerons, rudders or whatever, you're probably gonna use this similar system to create and cut foam bits, but not too much, so that they can bend but not snap off, so that you can attach servos and things to those things to make them extra fun and cool. So it says cut out a piece of foam board about 3/4 of an inch, which is 2 centimeters, by 2 3/8 inches, which is 6 centimeters. You know, if you're tired of fractions, just go to centimeters. Lightly score it across the center and fold it to form a V shape. Okay, I'm going to show you this, guys. Real quick. Take a look, take a listen at this one. Then it goes to 8. Then I can't see what I'm doing, but I'm going to show you how it looks over there in the picture. Hopefully there's not too much glare going on over there. Well, you guys probably didn't see part 10 because the glare, and I couldn't see part 10 either. There we go. You saw part 10. Riveting stuff. Are you ready to get all of your friends to come over to watch this video? Will this video see a million subscribers? It's probably not. Ever. Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate. You got shadow banned, but why did I? I don't know. 16 years. It's fun. Use hot glue to attach the motors to either side of the V platform. Their shafts should face away from the scored edge, and the motor bodies should align with bottom edge of the platform. All right, let's see. 12. Stand the motors on the snake head with the motor shaft poking through the holes. All right. And glue the bottom of the platform to the top of the snake's head, making sure that the motor shafts are not touching the sides of the holes. Once the glue on the platform is dry, turn the snake over and put blobs of glue onto the ends of the motor shafts. Oh, that'll be fun. And when you do that, make sure that you make the two blobs roughly even. You want it to be even, Steven. Be careful not to glue the shafts to the foam board. Oh, yeah, because otherwise the shafts are not going to move, and you're not going to have a fun day that day. It'll be a very, very not fun day, which is the opposite of a fun day. The longer these wires are, the farther away you can control the snake form. All right, so then cut 4 pieces of red stranded wire. Each feet is 1.5 meters long. Okay, so 5 feet is 1.5 meters long. Strip the ends of all 4 wires. I got confuzzled there. Confuzzled is not a word, but confussed is not a word, but we're going to use it anyway, because we make up words all the time on this show. I was really confuzzled on that one. Okay, please don't learn the word confuzzled and then write that in your spelling bee, because you won't get any points for confuzzled. Be careful. Be careful. All right, so then it says to solder one end of each wire to each of the 4 motor terminals. You're gonna have to. Oh, I'm sorry. It's what I'm reading is so boring. It's just so boring that I'm falling asleep. So you've got these 2 cool Tamiya motors, and they're facing away from each other. In between them is one of those foam bits that we talked about, and the motors are not straight going down. They are just leaning on this thing, so they're at don't know what kind of angle that is. I'm sure the mathematician critics and PhDs are going to tell me what angle that is. They're going to drop it in the comments and help the world make a better place. No, help make the world a better place. Oh, mornings. So anyway, it says thread all 4 long red wires through the middle of the axles where they project above the body segments. That sounds fun. And then make sure there is at least 1/8 inches, which is 3 centimeters of clear strip board below the holes for the batteries, and then pack to fit onto it. Ooh. We always want to have a good clipboard in there. That looks pretty fun. Ooh, the drill looks big and the holes look big too. It sounds dangerous, so listen to the instructions at the beginning of this. This could be a dangerous thing. Make sure you clamp those things well. Don't let that whatever clipboard slide out of position. It says drill 2 1/4 inches, which is 6 millimeter holes in the strip board, and then each about 3/4 of an inch, which is 2 centimeters from the end, and 3/8 inches, which is 1 centimeter from the side. The holes will allow you to secure the DP/DT switches. So I'm gonna show you real quick right here. You see that? Where the orange bit is, where the orange clamp bit thingy is. All right, and then it says place the DP/DT switches into the holes in the strip board and screw on the washers and nuts from the other side. Next, cut 4 pieces of red stranded wire, each about 3/4 of an inch, which is 2 centimeters long, and 1 black and 1 red wire, each 3/1/8 inches, which is 8 centimeters long. Strip both ends of each wire. Seriously, they love their fractions. They really love their fractions. They're gonna marry them fractions. Okay, let's go. 21. Take the long red and black wires and following the key to the right, solder them to the middle connections on the DPDT switches. So then it tells you to use adhesive putty to hold the board in place on your work surface while you solder. It's a good idea because it is hard to solder to begin with. And if things are slipping and sliding, oh my gosh, yeah, not good. So these wire links will connect the battery snap connector wires to both switches. Red wire link and black wire link. I'm going to show you this picture real quick so you guys can see what I see and hear what I hear. Anywho, we're going to take a look at part 22, which is strip the ends of the wires from the battery pack and following the key to the right, solder them to the right hand switch. You got to solder them to the right hand switch, and you may need to trim the wires to size if they are too long. Interesting. I guess they don't want you to make these wires too long or whatever, because they could get caught on something that you may be... Oh, but this is for the remote, so they probably were not going to get caught on anything. So anyway, black battery pack wire and red battery pack wire. I'm going to show you what 22 is all about. Here it is. 22 is all about that, and you can read the text if you want to. 23. Next, following the key on the right, solder the 4 short red wire links to the the other switch terminals. Okay, so you've already attached the correct switches, and you did the black one to the correct part and the red one to the correct part. So now you're going to add some extra 2 wires, and these will be leading away from the, what do you call those things? DPDT switches. There's a left wire link and a right wire link, and in the picture it says they're both red, but in the actual thing, they seem to be one black and one red, so I don't know. You see how they're red, but it looks like if it's these ones here, one is black and one is, I don't know. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. It's not Christmas anymore, but let's play Christmas music. It's almost Christmas again, but we're not even summer yet. So let's go. It feels nice though today. I'm gonna tell you guys, nothing feels better than having some nice radiation. Get some radiation from the sun. It's clean. It's clean. If you have delicate skin, please put some, what do you call that stuff? Sunscreen. If you have lizard skin, because you're galactic like me, then you probably should still have some on your nose, because that's where I usually get burned. Cyrano de Belgirac tends to get burned somewhere around here. Other than that, I'm pretty lucky. So 24. Following the key to the right, solder the ends of the long wires from the right and left motors on the snake head to the left and right switches. So let's see what this happens. Oh, this gets really complicated. Almost, where'd I leave that thing? Almost as complicated as this. And this is actually not complicated, but my brain is so small. It is so small that I found this not here to be, which is really 3 different knots, but I found this really hard to wrap my head around. And I put in the work, I put in the hours, and every day I try to remind myself how to do this, because if I forget, somebody's not coming back down from the wall. And since we love the people that we belay, it's important to keep our skills tight and ready to run, just like all the vehicles are ready to fly. In some cases, they might think, but I'm not a flying human, not yet. We haven't evolved to that point yet. So the board is flipped over, so connect the wires from the right motor to the left hand switch as you see it here, and vice versa. So we got the right motor wire, we have a left motor wire, a left motor wire. There's 2 of those left motor wires. There's a right motor wire on the other side. So this, guys, is going to look very confusing because all the wires are going to have X's on them. It's not what do you call it, X Mobile or anything. It's just, hey, did you guys know there's a thing called Mint Mobile? Apparently, Ryan Reynolds has a new company that does wireless service. It's kind of funny. Anyway, that's so besides the point. That's so besides the point. But anyway, that's a fun commercial that they run on the YouTube, which is fine. They can run that. Just stop running those scammy ones. The scammy ones where they try to tell you, well, I've got the solution for you. I can regrow your hair. Your teeth are going to be regrown. If you eat this special thing, you will lose weight and whatever. Here, buy this special drone invented by Navy SEALs, which is going to do things that the DJI drones can do, but at $100. Of course, the technology is just as good. It's just as good. Of course it is. Of course, it's not even an FPV like drone. It's not designed to do loops and rolls, but yeah, we're gonna sell you. We're gonna tell you that if you buy it, it's $100. It's gonna do loops and rolls and all those special, just like the Avata and the DJI FPV at $100. Yeah, you can do it. Quick, buy it. It's only $99. Oh, the YouTube algorithm of death. Anyway, I had one person who was watching the show, and when I said that, they disappeared. The YouTube algorithm noticed and said, bye-bye. 0 subscribers, zero likes on the video. Anyway, place the 9-volt battery onto the battery pack and pull the switches. If the motors don't spin, go back and check all of the connections. I don't know if I want to do this. This is troubleshooting. This is too much work. It's too much work. I'm gonna pretend to be alpha starting tomorrow. This show is gonna be all about sweating. We're gonna put the sweat in the show. I'm gonna get some weights. Actually, no, I don't need to get weights because my good friend The Rock sent me that rusted weight. He's like, bruh, here's my rusted weight. This is my weight from when I was a kid, and I started putting in the work and the hours. Check out my pecs. Ooh ha hoo, Johnny Bravo. It's your turn. Here, I'm passing it on to you. I don't need it anymore. I'm using steroids, but you. But you, my friend, here, have my rusted weight. So I don't have to buy one. I have one in the garage, a really cool rusted weight given to me, and it's my pride and joy. It was given to me by The Rock, so I'm gonna go to the garage, and we're gonna have the alpha show. Well, I can't call it the alpha show because I'm not really an alpha. So we're gonna call it the beta man show. The beta man. Oh, should we call it the gamma man show? The gamma man show. Anyway, so when you finish soldering, check that the wiring of your switches looks like this. It's a mess, guys. But trust the book. trust Jack Shaloner. It's what you need to do to succeed. And this is what it looks like over there. There's an X and stuff. I can't really tell looking at the squiggle here how that made a difference, but there's more wires connected up. So, and I think, you know what, guys, if you want, what you could do is, I know that they're trying to save you money by going like with just 2 different color wires, but if you are struggling with this stuff and you want to make it easier, especially if you're going to do this in school, you want to help your students, maybe it's worth it to spend a little bit more money to invest in more colored wires and to create a nice flow chart for your children where you say this is this and this is the other thing, and just show them a whole color scheme and have a few more colored wires to make this exercise a little bit easier. Because, hey, what you're going to see here on this sheet, and I just showed you a couple of times in the video, is there's a lot of red wires and a few black ones. So you'll be able to make the distinction pretty quickly between the black and the red. But there's going to be a lot of red wires and you're going to be confused, a little confuzzled about what they do. So I don't usually give advice, but in this case, I think that's probably good advice. Get yourself some more wires in different colors and create a little chart on the side to tell you guys what they are, so that then later on, especially as a teacher, this is actually really helpful stuff, is because you might be doing all kinds of different projects with your students, and you may be working on this one project, and then you might not touch that one project until next year at the same time or the same date, whatever, if you decide to go with the same things that you're doing. And when you go back and look at your project, you're like, what the heck did I do here, and which wires go where, right? So if you have a nice color scheme and you've got yourself some nice notes to go by, you just go, oh yeah, okay, fine. This is what the project was all about. Put nicely, neatly, because my OCD likes that, in a binder, color-coded, with post-it notes. Anyway. So place the 9-volt battery into the battery pack and push and pull the switches. If the motors don't spin, go back and check all of your connections. All right, so this is pretty much the project done at this point, if you get to part 26. But there's part 27 on there, which is pretty simple. It says, attach the battery pack to the underside of the strip board using double-sided foam tape. Now flip both sides, both switches. Now flip both switches both ways and watch the snake slither across the floor. So that is the real end of the thing. It says place the battery pack away from the soldering connection. So make sure that when you attach the battery pack, it does not interfere with the soldered connections for so many reasons, such as you could loosen the solder connections, or you could accidentally create sparks, or it's just a bad idea to have. You want to keep certain bits of technology away from other bits of technology in order for them to work as best as they can. So now we got to the good bit, which is how it works. So it works this way. The motor's shafts can turn in either direction depending on the direction of the current flow flowing through them. The blobs of glue on the motor shafts grip the floor or whatever surface they are on, and when they spin, the friction between them and the floor helps the snake to move. So make sure that those blobs are put on correctly and they're roughly the same height. Otherwise, the snake may spin awkwardly or whatever. So, and also make sure that the blobs are fastened correctly to the shafts, because if that doesn't happen, good chance is of the thing coming off, and then the motor shaft will just create awful decorations on your wooden or whatever surface you're working on. A lot of times if you have tiles don't get broken and beaten up as much as a wooden floor and other surfaces might. So take that into consideration when you're making these projects. And also maybe carpet is not a good idea, because the friction and stuff might cause it to not work so well, but also excessive friction might take those blobs off of the shafts. A lot of things to think about. So as we said before, the switches on the remote control allow current to flow through each motor in either direction or not at all. The snake moves to the right when both motors spin to the right. And I guess vice versa. The snake moves forward when the motor on the right spins to the left and the motor on the left spins to the right. If you reverse this, the snake moves backward. And 4, the snake moves to the left when both motors spin to the left. The movement of the head is passed onto the body through the wheels and paper fasteners. Very interesting. All right. And now the last bit of this thing, which is real-world inventions, wireless remote control. Right, so real-world inventions, wireless remote control that you see so often in the DJI Phantom kind vehicles, remotes and stuff. So most remotely controlled devices, like the drone, are not connected to their controller by long wires. Instead, the control transmits coded radio signals that are received by the device. Different signals activate different motors or lights on the device. The batteries that power the device must be inside the device itself rather than in the controller. But in a way, this is similar stuff. So that's why they use it as a world invention. But really, the easier or the better thing to say was back in the day, we had these remote controlled cars and tanks, and they would be connected with a wire, same as the snake. And I think these days you can still buy some of these things. I think I probably saw as late as a few years ago, which was 2022 or 2021, I saw a remote control spider at a shop that still had wires on it, and a remote control. So this is pretty much the same thing as a snake. So with that said, guys, I'm going to stop it here. If you guys want to follow along with the previous episode, what did we do in the previous episode of this show? Usually I say that at the beginning, but I got lost. Because I needed to talk about misogyny, sexism. We didn't get into racism, but we won't touch that one today. So we did the remote-controlled snake today, and breadboard car in the previous episode before that. Then we did the, AM radio. This is a fun project. We did the infinity mirror. We did the, there's a lot here. There's a lot. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm going to stop at where I humiliated myself. Oh yeah, the electromagnetic crane is where I humiliated myself. I usually just stop there. Anyway, and with that, you guys can go watch those episodes. If you want to follow along even better, you can get yourself one of these cool books written by Jack Shaloner over there. He's written a lot of other cool books. I believe he's written about 30 books and done a lot of other cool things. Okay, let's jump into the one, the only secret origin of Wing Chun. Some people might call it Young Chuen. Anyway, so there are 2,200 years of training, history, philosophy, and development of ancient Chinese mixed martial arts by a very cool author. I might say even good-looking guy, Grandmaster Tom Wong. I'm going to get a lot of comments. No, I'm not, because this is a redundant channel now. It's a redundant channel. Nobody watches it anymore. They never watched it to begin with. Anyway, so again, guys, if you guys want to learn about this stuff, this is Wing Chun. It's Ome Wing Chun, but it's a special branch of Wing Chun that branched out from Yen Kai San and Sum Nung. And if you guys ever want to come in on the channel and create videos to tell us how to say all the cool things that you see, such as down here. There's a lot of lovely Chinese inscribings in here that I can't read because I can't read Chinese, and you guys want to help out, please make a video on whatever platform you want and link us up to the video of how you say the word and explain it to us, because that would make the world a better, happier place. Remember when I talked about training the Terminator? We can train the Terminator to do lofty things, to aspire to have lofty goals, to make a world a better place. Make the world a better place. I don't know. I'm going to 5D energy. They tell me that soon I'm going to be going into 5D energy for whatever that means. If you know what that means, this is information for you. If you don't know what that means, well, I'm sorry. The information is not for you. But they tell me, some guides tell me, and no, they're not local Google guides like me. They're other kinds of guides. They tell me that I may be going into 5D energy soon. I've finally reached the point where I can go into 5D. I'll believe it when I see it. Anyway, so let's get onto here. What are we talking about here? There's an internal chi map. There is an internal chi map. Take a look at this cool island. I think it's an island. But anyway, it's got a lot of cool, interesting things in here. I can't read any of them, but maybe you guys could help out an old, over the hill, struggling man. Will ya? Someone's got to help this gamma man. This gamma man. Anyway, Liu Jinjun. No, I can't even read it when it's Liu Tianjin. Anyway, there's some cool things about qi and energy systems in here. So qi is an energy that travels through our body and governs our body health. Even though qi has been studied in Chinese medicine for thousands of years, it has only been studied through the lens of Western medicine recently. Many Taoists believe that intensive physical exercise makes our body lose qi and cause internal imbalance. You see, that's what happens. That's what happens to all those alphas, and they lose their hair, and they don't know why. They might be using the wrong shampoo. That could be a cause. They may be using too much of the YouTube scams, commercials, and buying the wrong products. Or they could be losing their chi. Either way, you might want to find out Tom Wong. There's a Tom Wong on the internet that everybody already knows. In fact, if I'm telling you there's a Tom Wong on YouTube, you guys know. You know who that is. And no, I'm not bashing him. I've been entertained by his channel too. We all have. Also, that Jake Mace is pretty fun. But now Jake Mace has been doing some really fun stuff. He's gotten out in the bush and he makes some really cool videos with his wife and now child. And it's a beautiful thing. So you guys want to check that out. That's pretty cool. Jake Mace is not just trying to be the face of Kung Fu anymore. But anyway, Tom Wong is that guy with the bald head. He probably lost his chi too when he was doing his fake Kung Fu. Oh, anyway, guys, the real Tom Wong, the real thing, this guy from this book has a real YouTube channel. And if I was the Valuetainment people, whether it's Sawscast or Valuetainment, I would bring on, if it were me, I would bring on Tom Wong. I don't know if he would agree to go, because he's a cool dude that doesn't like to stir the pot and stuff, and he has, he's one of those old fashioned guys, old school martial artists. So he stays out of the news and stuff. But if you can get him to come along, that would really be cool, in my opinion. And we all know how valuable and unpopular that opinion is. So if I was somebody at Valuetainment, I'd be like, there's one real kung fu master still alive today. Maybe I should have him on the show. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. Anyway, so when the chi field in the dantian is depleted, the intestines cannot provide enough nutrients into the bloodstream efficiently or in a timely manner. In the long run, this weakens some of our 5 internal organs and the immune system, causes physical imbalance, and speeds up the body's aging process. All right, let's continue on. So I show you guys that cool map. Sadly, I have no idea what it says on there, but if you want to learn about it and stuff, you could also go to Monterey Park and meet Tom Wong, Grandmaster Tom Wong himself. Or, I don't know, there are some other students that have been certified to teach this awesome Yenkai-san Samnang Kung Fu. And so you guys could meet up and do some cool things with them. Excuse me. Excuse me some more. Wow. Oh, that took some steam out of my sails there. This Gamma man had a moment there. Anyway, so likewise, decreased hormones and slower metabolism delays one's recovery. Many famous masters continue to push their bodies beyond their limits even as they approach middle age. However, as they grow older, their bodies cannot recover at the same rate as when they were younger. As a result, they ended up dying of heart attacks between the ages of 50 to 60. Excuse me. This also happens to a lot of alpha males that put in the work and the hours, and they abuse steroids. Their heart keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they have strokes. It's been scientifically documented, so don't jump at me. Use the algorithm to good use and Google it. You will find out that a lot of bodybuilders, and it's a sad thing because, you do want to look good. But if you abuse the steroids, you abuse a bunch of things, your heart gets bigger and bigger. Just like some of those, there's some dogs as well that are suffer from this. They're boxers, I think, boxers. Sadly, their heart gets bigger and bigger until it just can't cope, and then it brings them to an untimely or early demise, which is a sad thing. So anyway, for example, Master Wang Waobo died after 50th birthday of heart attack. Similarly, Master Chen Hua Shun died of a heart attack shortly after his 60th birthday. I have met many champions and experts who practice Kung Fu beyond their physical limitations. I did so as well when I was younger. However, such intensive exercise and training causes temporary imbalances with our internal bodily fluids, pH levels, and hormones. Even though it takes years to seriously or permanently injure our bodies, imbalanced bodies speed up a person's aging process and slow down the rate at which our bodies recover. Most of the time, the human body is like an automobile, like a car, and regular maintenance can ensure its normal lifespan. However, repeated abuse will cause it to break down, which is why I say live like a turtle. When the heart rate of a person over 60 or even younger, depending on the actual heart condition, goes over 140 beats per second during exercise, it is a signal that they are crossing into the red zone. If we abuse our hearts and not let them recover, the tissues in the heart can become seriously injured. I'm not saying, because then people are going to go like, oh, well, that marker review said it's good to be fat. It's good to not work out ever. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say you should do a moderate amount of exercise every day to keep yourself toned. You can be overweight, you can be big, but toned. Like sumo wrestlers still have an attractive body type. At least some sumo wrestlers have an attractive body type because although they are big, they seem to be big boned and stuff. A little bit. I mean, you can't see their abs and stuff, but they're toned. They're toned to the bone. They're even, some of them are even capable of doing splits, so they're flexible and they're toned. They might be able to live longer than some of these masters that died at 50. Again, it's not about really what your body looks like overall, but is the body that you're in healthy? That's what we're talking about. We need to be healthy. You could be a sumo wrestler, you could be a healthy sumo wrestler, or you could be a flabby sumo wrestler, in which case you will die. You won't make it past 50. So that is what I'm telling you guys. You guys need to do exercise, but don't go overboard. Don't go overboard, because going overboard will decrease your life, especially if you're not doing any like qigong exercises and you're not supplementing yourself. You might have to take some extra vitamins and things and do some other things in order to supplement. And you also might have to be, you might have to take the bullet and say, okay, well, I'm super rich and I can afford it. You saw Arnold Schwarzenegger was able to get I think a heart. I'm not sure if it's heart transplant, but he's definitely done surgeries. And because he could afford it, he could afford to be. He can still be big and strong today, but I don't think he pushes himself the way he used to when he did the Iron Man and pumping iron and all that stuff. I don't think he can do that anymore, and he shouldn't, because otherwise his life expectancy just keeps going down and down. Anyway, so only Kung Fu practitioners that have reached a threshold in their progress or experience physical deterioration or illness can fully appreciate the significance of Qigong exercises. For this reason, my teacher Sifu Samnang taught us Ome rejuvenation Qigong to help us recuperate our bodies by relaxing and improving our body's Qi flow. Meditation also helps as to free our minds and improve our brain functions. It helps us recognize and find harmony in health. After all, the faster we recover, the faster we progress. However, I often see students from other styles attempting to mix different methods when practicing meditation. This is not recommended, as it can be dangerous to practice meditation without proper guidance. Losing one's mind can be even more devastating than losing one's limb. Lu Dongbin was, and no, I'm not insulting him. I'm not saying he should go into be thrown in the bin, okay? Just making sure the algorithm understands. His name is what it is there, and I'm not pronouncing it correctly for sure. But Lu Dongbin was a great scholar, poet, and martial artist from the Tang dynasty, and was known as one of the 8 famous Taoist immortals around 838 AD. He wrote a book called Secret of Golden Flower that explained the power of meditation. This book was translated into English by Richard Wilhelm, a renowned psychologist who had studied Taoism in China for 22 years. This book has also been translated into Italian, French, and German. All right, we're going to stop it there, guys. But the last thing I want to say is just do be careful. Some people do not understand how the Qigong meditation works, and you could lose. There have been people who have said that during Qi meditation, they've seen ghosts and they got too frightened and then they couldn't go on doing the practice. There have been people who, without supervision and who are not good at this kind of thing, and do their own practices or mix their practices, have gotten to a point where their body is so hot from the meditation that, it's almost like the internal combustion, that kind of thing. And they've literally burned themselves out. I mean, I think there have been cases or reported cases of people. I'm not saying that you're going to catch fire like that or anything like, self-combustion or whatever. Your skin is not going to just go on fire. But the feeling, if you misuse the meditation practice and you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to calm yourself down, you can go into shock. You can go into a lot of things. So it's best to learn Qigong and all the practices with a real master. And so, again, also maybe consult your doctor, whatever it is that you need to do for your own personal liability. I don't know. This is why I don't give people advice. This is why I don't give people advice. One thing that works for one person may end up in an early demise for someone else. So I can just show you guys things that have been said, and I can read books and stuff like that. But I am not going to give you advice, not on this channel, not ever. You can do what you want. I can tell you the things that I've done in my life, things that may have helped me, but what if they hurt you, right? So with that said, guys, this is a good book. It's definitely a good read, whether you decide to do it or not. You should go definitely check out Grandmaster Tom Wong's YouTube channel as well. I think he has a website too, and all that good stuff. You can buy this off of Amazon. And if you're interested in learning more about this, you can go to, as I said, Monterey Park. He does, I think there's, I remember doing a Yelp review. You can check him out on Yelp. I think his stuff is on there too. So with that said, guys, a shout out to Tom Wong. It'd be cool. But I don't know, again, you might be able to reach out to Grandmaster Tom Wong, and he might say no. But it'd be cool to have him on Valuetainment. That'd be pretty cool. That's one man that deserves to be on there. And who better than PBD, Patrick, or Adam from the Saucecast to have him on the show. So with that, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all hopefully tomorrow. The weather's good and all that stuff, and I'll continue on with this book and the technology book. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.